The camera in this box will replace every camera you have, and I don't say that lightly. Today, we are looking at the OBSBOT Tail 2 and talking about why this camera can replace all of your other cameras. There's a lot of features packed into this thing, but as far as I know, I don't think there's another camera on the market right now that can do everything this can do. So anyway, we're going to take a look at this. We're going to compare it to some other cameras kind of in the same ballpark, and then we're going to look at whether this camera is going to be the right camera for you to purchase for your live stream or video content creation work. Now, before we get started, I want to let you guys know that OBSBOT is not sponsoring this video. They did send me the camera to review and add to my setup and check out, do a video on, that sort of thing. But I'm not required to say anything. It's not sponsored, so this is just my thoughts on the camera alone. With that being said, we do have a sponsor of today's video, and that sponsor is one of my favorite places on the internet for graphics for your live streams, and that's overlays.uno. Overlays.uno is the future of live streaming graphics, and I don't say that lightly. Uno offers real-time web-based graphics to live streamers for free. Now, if you're wondering, real-time overlays are graphics that can be changed, updated, and edited in real time, and they are fully customizable. So for instance, if you need a counter on your stream to track all your wins in your favorite game, just add the counter overlay into your streaming software and add a +1 to either the wins or losses, and it will update on your stream in real time. The best part is these overlays can be controlled from your Elgato Stream Deck using the Uno plugin on the Elgato Marketplace. Uno doesn't just have counter overlays though, they have a ton of different types of overlays, from starting soon countdown clocks to social media rotators, lower thirds to webcam borders, just to name a few. Uno is completely free and powered by one of the most advanced professional broadcasting graphics companies around. So don't wait any longer, go to overlays.uno and sign up for your free account today. You guys make sure to click that link in the description to check out overlays.uno and sign up for your free account today. I promise you will not regret it. I use their graphics on my live streams all the time and I absolutely love them. Huge thank you to Uno for sponsoring this video. So let's go ahead and unbox this thing, and then we're going to dive in and take a look at the OBSBOT Tail 2. And I'm going to show you guys some really cool things that I think are some of the biggest wins that this camera has. Okay, so as we unbox the OBSBOT Tail 2, I wanted to show you guys, this is the box that the OBSBOT Tail Air comes in. Now this is so far been their premium PTZ camera that OBSBOT provides, but the OBSBOT Tail 2 comes in this box. Let's move the you can't even see it in the shot. I'll have to, let me zoom the, like, we'll zoom the camera out a little bit. This is the box that the Tail 2 comes in compared to the Tail Air. Okay, now I'll show you a comparison of the actual cameras side by side, but I just wanted to show you guys what they look like in the box together. Let's go ahead and unbox this, and I guess I'll just go ahead and leave the camera zoomed out here so you guys can see this in its entirety, because it is a big one. This is the OBSBOT Tail 2 right here, and as you guys can see, it comes with the new tail instruction booklet right in there. Let's get to the main event here, and as we pull this little tab up, the foam will come off, and you will notice a big ol' PTZR camera. And one of the things I wanted to mention is that the OBSBOT Tail Air and like the Tiny 2 and these different PTZ cameras they have always been PTZ, pan, tilt, and zoom. This is what they call a PTZR. It's a pan, tilt, zoom, and rotate, because it can also shoot vertical format content. So let's go ahead and pull this out of the box here. And man, this thing is, compared to their other cameras, this thing is a beast, but it's actually smaller than most PTZ cameras. And I'll show you it next to a PTZ camera. This thing is a behemoth. But let's go ahead and, in the box, there's also another little box here, and this comes with a couple different things. You've got a power cable that comes in there. Looks like another cable of some sort. We'll look at that here in a minute. And then on the other side, we got a couple more things. I'm dropping everything. There's an adapter. We'll open all this and I'll show it to you in just a minute. So now that we've done a quick little unboxing and you've seen what is in the box, I wanted to do a closer look at the camera itself, just so you can get an idea of what type of, connections this camera has, as well as some of the little nuances to the camera that I think are really, really cool. So we're gonna go and do a close-up. I want to show you guys, first of all, the camera has some awesome lights on the front of it. There are 4 lights at the bottom here that basically show you the level of battery charge this camera has. And then the light above that, the little strip light up there at the top, basically is your indicator light to show you whether or not this camera is tracking you, whether it's on, that sort of thing. And so if it's loading something, you're downloading a firmware update or whatever, that will be your notification light. Now, if you look on the side of the camera, you'll notice that there are vents on both sides of the camera, and these are ventilation vents. So there's actually a fan in there that cools this camera off, and those vents allow that airflow into the camera body because it is doing a lot of processing. Now, next to one of the vents, you also right above it have a micro SD card slot, and so you can actually record directly to a micro SD card through this camera, which is a really, really cool feature. If you go around to the back of the camera, you will notice that there is a bunch of different connections. Now, at the very top, you've got your power button. This is how you turn the camera on and off. Starting on the left side of the I/O, you have your audio mic in and line in jacks. And so the one on the top is your mic in, and then the one on the bottom is a line in. So you can run audio into this camera. There's also a full-size HDMI port on the back of this camera. Right underneath that, there is actually these two smaller, what look like audio ports, but they're not. These are actually for hooking up a full-fledged PTZ controller. In the middle, you've got a 3G SDI port, so you can run this over an SDI connection, which means you can run much longer runs of cable. Next to that, you have your power over Ethernet port, and so you can not only transmit video through this Ethernet port, but you can also power the camera through this Ethernet port. So this gives you the ability to have, multiple of these cameras set up and running, PoE through all of the different Ethernet cables, and you don't have to worry about a power cable running to the camera. And then on the right side of the Ethernet port, you have 2 different USB Type-C ports. The one on the top is actually your data port. So this is for when you're going to plug the camera in like a webcam to your computer, which yes, you can do that. You can use this camera like a webcam. And the USB-C port underneath that is your power port. And so this is the power cable that came with the camera runs right into here and provides power to this camera so you can run it indefinitely. I also want to point out that the design of the camera is very tasteful. They have this simple red ring around the lens. A little bit of color, it's got the OBSBOT color in there. I personally love it because I'm a huge fan of black and red, if you guys couldn't tell. But if you don't want a lot of flashiness on your cameras, that red ring is not going to take away or be too distracting because it's very tasteful. And then the OBSBOT logo is underneath that right there on the front, but it's not super in your face. And so they've done a great job at keeping this camera looking super professional and sleek while also giving it a little bit of that OBSBOT style. If you turn the camera over and look at the bottom of the camera, you'll notice that there is a rubber ring that goes all the way around the bottom of the camera to make sure that this doesn't slide around if you put it on a more slick surface. As well as right there in the middle, there is a threaded port for, a tripod. So you can put tripod adapters on here and mount it to any tripod with the standard threading that you would expect. Now let's take a closer look at the other pieces that come in the box. The first one we're going to look at is the data USB-C cable. So the all black USB-C cable is meant for plugging into your computer. This is what's going to transmit the video signal to your computer and basically make this camera operate like a webcam. They also give you a USB-C power cable, and they've done a really, really cool thing here. They have put red rings around the ends of the power cable so that you don't get these two cables confused. So the all blacked out version is the data video transmit cable, and the one with the red rings on the end is the one you're going to use to power your camera. They also give you a USB-C to USB Type-A adapter. So if you don't have a USB-C port on your computer, you don't have to worry because you can plug this right into a USB-A port. And then they also give you the necessary cables to convert a PTZ controller's cables into those smaller little, what look like, 1/8-inch ports on the back of the camera. They give you the cables you need to convert that signal so that you can actually run this camera through a PTZ controller, which is really cool and a very nice touch. I'm glad that they did that. Thank you to OBSBOT for thinking of every little thing like that. So when it's all said and done, you get the converter cables for the PTZ controller, you get the USB-C to USB-A adapter, 2 USB-C cables, one for power, one for data, and you get the camera itself. Now, there is one thing that did not come in the box that I really wish that they had included, and that is a power brick for the USB-C cable. Now, you've probably got a lot of power bricks lying around. However, the USB-C to USB-C cable means you need a power brick with a USB-C input on it. and I actually need to plug in my camera to a power outlet on the wall, so I had to do a little bit of research. However, I'm gonna give you guys a link to what I found, this right here, which is the Anker. It's a 30-watt power brick, and it's on Amazon. It's pretty cheap. I'm gonna put a link down in the description for you guys if you want to pick it up. It is an affiliate link, so if you get one of these, you can help support the channel at no additional cost. But it's this nice little power brick from Anker, and what's cool about this is that it's gray, so it matches the OBSBOT Tail 2, so it kind of looks like it should have come with it. It's got a USB-C port on it, and then it's 30 watts. Like I said, this thing has run my OBSBOT Tail 2 just fine. I've been using it in my live streams for hours on end, and I have no issues with this. The battery's always charged up to 100%, and it's really, really nice, small, compact, and portable. So anyway, link down in the description if you guys need a power brick for your camera, because that is one thing they did not include in the box. But OBSBOT, please consider including it in the box so that we don't need to go buy an additional piece to use the camera. Okay, so here is the OBSBOT Tail Air with the OBSBOT Tail 2, and I wanted to show you guys a size comparison because so far the Tail Air has been the biggest, newer OBSBOT camera on the market. However, the Tail 2 is definitely the new king, okay? It's a bigger camera. This is beyond webcam. It is, I would consider, a portable PTZ or PTZR camera compared to a lot of PTZ cameras. This is actually smaller, but it also has 5 times optical zoom and up to 12 times digital zoom in this camera. The Tail Air only has 4 times digital zoom, and a lot of PTZ cameras have these crazy zooms, like 20 or 30x zooms optically, which is cool. But I think if you're going for quality and features and things like that, then this may be the way to go, because you might not have as many instances where you're going to need 20 or 30x optical zoom versus having a 5x optical zoom and just mounting this a little bit closer to where it needs to be. Plus, because it's smaller than a lot of PTZ cameras, it's going to blend in a little bit more. Now, the Tail Air is a great camera, but I cannot wait to see what the Tail 2 looks like. And I have a PTZ camera right now. We'll be doing a little comparison, but I'm going to replace it with this one, and we're going to see the quality improvement. So I just want to give you guys a little size comparison of these two so you know that this guy is going to be bigger. All right, it's bigger and it's definitely heavier. It's super premium feeling, and at the price tag that it comes in at, which is I believe $11.99 at the time of recording this video, it's more than twice as expensive as the Tail Air. So you have to determine what is going to be your use case for these two cameras. But I will say this: if you're looking for the best, most quality, most features, best AI auto tracking, all of that kind of stuff, and we'll talk about all that here in a minute, this guy is going to be the new king. So anyway, there it is, guys, a little size comparison. Just wanted you to see what they look like next to each other. Now that we've taken a look at what comes in the box and kind of had a look at the camera itself, I want to talk about how I'm personally using this camera. And I'm a live streamer on Twitch. I stream over there multiple times a week. I needed a camera for a very specific purpose, and that was a bird's eye view of my streaming station, my streaming studio. Now, I have a previous PTZ camera that I've been using for a long time, and there are some things about it that I haven't really liked all that much, but it worked and it was getting me by. However, the Tail 2 fixes every problem that I've had. So let me go ahead and show you guys what that bird's eye view looks like. Now, I'm going to show you a side-by-side comparison of the bird's eye view with both cameras. And I want you to take a minute and look at this shot, okay? Hopefully this is not going to be too tough of a test for you. But go ahead and leave a comment down below which side, left or right, you think is the Tail 2, which side you think is my other PTZ camera. I'm going to give you a second. Go ahead and make your comments below. See if you can get it right. Like I said, this is going to be one of those kind of easy tests for extra credit, okay? I'm going to go ahead and show you and reveal which side is which. The OBSBOT Tail 2 is obviously the camera on the left. And if you are wondering why that's so obvious, well, maybe you're not a camera person, that's okay. But if you look at both of these shots, it's pretty easy to tell which one is sharper, which one has better colors, which one has better exposure, which one deals with highlights better. It's the Tail 2 on the left side, okay? Now, this is the bird's eye view, and I've got both cameras mounted right next to each other, and I try to replicate these shots as closely as possible to one another so that we could, and let me make sure, yeah, they're both kind of set about the same, so we could get a good comparison. Now, in a minute, I'm going to show you full screen what both of these cameras look like, but I wanted to point out a few of the issues that I have had with my previous PTZ camera that the OBSBOT Tail 2 handles beautifully, okay? First of all, the focus itself. You can tell with the camera on the right, the previous PTZ camera, the focus is not the greatest. In fact, if I hold up this belt right here, you know, they both kind of see the belt. Let's say I move it closer to the camera, like this. Well, the OBSBOT Tail 2 is in focus. The other PTZ camera is having some issues, and it's very, very soft, not very sharp. One way that we can see this even better is if I zoom both of these cameras in, which I will do right now. See, now we're out of focus on this one. It was not able to get this. The Tail 2 got it. This other PTZ camera did not. And I also want to point out, if you guys see the highlights, see the washed out, kind of the middle of this belt is washed out due to that reflection. The Tail 2 is handling that reflection beautifully. I can't even read what's on that belt on the right side, but on the left side, you can actually see the details. You can see the words. I mean, let's go ahead and zoom this in a little bit more and we'll get an even better picture. Tail 2 is focused. The right side kind of is focused. It's kind of coming in and out a little bit. Yep, see right there. Tail 2 is just, I mean, it's handling it like a champ. So there's a massive difference in quality, as you guys can tell. Also, this one looks washed out. My hand looks washed out. But on the Tail 2, my hand looks natural, right? The highlights look natural. This one is struggling hardcore. Look at that. Look at that focus. See that? This is the problem that I've had with the PTZ camera on the right side, is it's just had a massive problem with focus, especially in this low light. The Tail 2, no problems at all. I mean, it is absolutely, and this is in bad lighting, okay? This is a dark shot for this camera. This one's overcompensating on the exposure there, it looks like, and the Tail 2 is just absolutely doing a great job. If I was to manually expose this, I might be able to cut that down a little bit, but I don't think it would help much with the focus issue. And I don't even remember, I think this is manual exposure. It just doesn't have a very wide exposure range, so it's just having trouble. See that? So anyway, the Tail 2 is doing a great job. It fixes this problem that I've had. Now that you've seen kind of the focus and the fact that these can both zoom really far, which by the way, the camera on the right is a 20x optical zoom camera, and the camera on the left, the Tail 2, is a 5x optical that can go up to 12x digital. However, I would say that between the two, the 20x optical versus the 12x digital, I think the 12x digital still looks better, and I'll show you that as well. I'm gonna go ahead and hold up a Pokeball like right over here, and I'm gonna zoom in on that Pokeball and we'll just see which one looks better. Here is the Pokeball. The left side is the Tail 2, of course, zoomed in at 12x, and the right side is the other PTZ camera zoomed in at about 12x as well. However, I wanted to show you all that the left side, the Tail 2, this is as far as it can zoom in, whereas on the right side, you can go 20x, so it can actually go that much further. And so, you know, there is a little bit of a difference as far as zoom, but I usually don't ever need to use it this close up. Normally, if I'm using these cameras, I mean, this 12x on the left side is gonna be a much better option, and I'm probably not gonna get in this close. Also, I would say, see how the focus, as soon as I start moving the ball forward, the focus is having issues on the right side, right? Oh, there we go. We finally got it. But on the left side, it's pretty much focused the entire time. See the difference there? So I would gladly take 8x less optical zoom, and this is digital on this side, by the way. On the left side, that's digital zoom past 5x optical. It still looks fantastic. I mean, you're not really going to be able to tell that is digital zoom. And if you get these back down to about the same size, I mean, like, it still looks better on the left. It's handling it much better. So anyway, there is a difference in zoom I wanted to show you guys. The Tail 2 is about twice as expensive as a camera like that, so you are getting a lot better quality. But if you're gonna spend that much money, if you're in the market for spending, you know, $500, $600, $700 on a camera, I would definitely say it's worth saving more and getting something like the Tail 2, because you're gonna be much happier with it in the long run when you run into issues like what I was showing you guys with the way that these cameras look. You know, the one on the right, the color reproduction, the kind of the soft focus, it's always looking kind of soft, Right now, it's actually doing a better job than normal on staying focused, and yet it's nowhere close to as good as the Tail 2. But I want to show both of these to you in full screen. So we're going to go over here, and I'll first show you the, this is the Tail 2 in full screen. And this is the Cami PTZ camera that I'm using, that I'm replacing with the Tail 2. And just to give you guys a little bit of back and forth here so you can see the two, they are substantially different. And this shot looks like a lower quality shot than my main shot, which is this one. But there's not a lot of difference between this one and this one. These two shots look like they are two different camera angles of maybe a similar camera, the same camera. So you're not getting that much of a difference like you are between these two. You know, these two colors and everything just don't look as great. You know what I mean? So the next thing I want to show you guys is the tracking of the Tail 2. Now, I'm going to go ahead and open up the OBSBOT. We're going to open up the OBSBOT app on my computer over here, and the tracking on this camera is unlike anything I've ever seen. We're not going to even compare it to the other PTZ camera because it's not even a fair comparison. That tracking is nowhere close to as good as this one. What I do want to tell you guys though is that there are so many features in this camera that you are watching right now. I can't cover all of them without doing a 2 or 3 hour long video. So we're going to cover some of the highlights. So for the tracking, I just wanted to give you guys a test of what that tracking can do in a practical use case. And one of the most important things that I think a camera that can track you should be able to do is to make it look like you have a cameraman standing in the room following you around, and you're not having to worry about losing tracking, getting tracking back, all that sort of thing. Okay, so I want to test out the AI auto tracking of this Tail 2, and the way we're going to do this is I'm going to do 3 different shots: a full body shot, a waist shot, and kind of a head shot tracking mode. We're going to see if it can track me throughout the room, and as I leave the room and then re-enter the room, we're going to see if the camera can reacquire me and continue to track me and follow me. So let's go ahead and do that now. I'm going to turn it on, and then we're going to walk out of the room and see what happens. Okay, here we go. All right, so it got the tracking, nailed that one. Let's try zooming it in a little bit. All right, so let's go to a number. We're gonna go to a number 5. This is more of the waist high, shot. So now we're gonna see if it can track me as well, doing the same thing. Okay, looks like it's following me pretty good. Last shot is we're gonna try the profile, the headshot. All right, so this is a number 3 in the app, and I'll show you the app here in a minute. But all right, so this is a close-up of me. We're gonna see if it can maintain a close-up of me, reacquire me when we come in. Let's see what happens. How we doing? From what I could tell on my OBS preview over here, the camera did an insane job. Like every time I came back in, it refound where I was at. I could tell that there was a few times where it lost. It was saying basically like I lost the tracking or the subject because the indicator bar on the front turned yellow. But then as soon as it reacquired me, it turned back to blue, and I knew it was tracking me. And so this is going to operate like a cameraman. Like if I'm walking around, I mean, that looks to me like somebody is in here with a camera, like a shoulder rig or something, and they are following me around. It's pretty crazy. It's an insanely good AI auto tracking. Now, OBSBOT has a ton of features on this camera, and we could go through a lot of them. Like I said, it would take forever. But I wanted to give you an idea of how good the auto tracking is, because basically this is one of the best there is, if not the best that there is. So you don't have to worry about tracking. It's gonna keep you, track you no matter what. Car goes in front of you, you go behind a tree or whatever, it's going to track you just fine. If you're in a classroom, no big deal whatsoever. And it even has features in the app where you can put on group mode, where it'll keep everybody that's up there in the shot. So if there's multiple people, instead of just tracking one person, it'll always make sure that it's tracking to try to keep everybody in the shot. If you guys get closer together, it'll punch in. If you guys get further apart, it'll kind of punch out to make sure everybody's in the shot. That's very cool. It also has animal tracking and object tracking. So there's literally a way for you to select like an object that you want it to follow. Anyway, lots of features like that, you guys. Too many to cover, but I just wanted to show you a quick demo of how well this thing can follow you. And it'll even sit down with me when I'm not looking at the camera, and still it knows I'm a human being somehow. I don't know how they do it. Now, there is another feature that this camera has that I've actually been using this entire time, and you guys probably just didn't know it, but that is wireless NDI. And the other PTZ camera I've been using, I run through an Ethernet cable into my router, and then I run NDI on OBS in order to connect to that camera through the router. But the Tail 2 has wireless NDI, which is what I've been using for this shot for all of my live streams. I have one cable running into my OBSBOT Tail 2, and that cable is the power USB-C cable. That is it. But what's crazy about it is the OBSBOT Tail 2 has a built-in battery. So I can get up, and I'm about to do this. I won't have any audio because I'm talking in this microphone, but I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna go over here and I'm gonna unplug this camera, take it off of the mount, and bring it over here, and we're gonna shoot the rest of the video in this shot right here using that camera on battery through wireless NDI. Okay, so I took the camera off of the mount up there, and I've put it on a little tripod here on my desk. And this is wireless. There's no cables running to this camera whatsoever. There are no, it's nothing. It's just, in fact, I'll film it so you guys can see what I'm talking about here. But there is just nothing running to this camera. Now, as you guys can see, this camera is mounted to a tripod on my desk. It's on full battery. And I can rotate this camera around here. And there are no cables running into this camera whatsoever. No cables whatsoever. This camera is literally just wirelessly looking at me. It's actually incredible. So I'm gonna raise this camera up. And try to get it to eye level with my main shot. And then we are going to compare my main camera to this camera and see if you guys can tell the difference between my main camera and this camera, if I can make them look close to the same. All right, guys, so one of these cameras is the Tail 2, and one is a Sony a6400 with a Sigma 16mm 1.4 aperture lens on it. One camera comes in at around $1,200. The other camera setup would come in close to $1,400, $1,500, $1,600. The difference is that the DSLR camera can't move. It just is stationary. It's where it is, and that is it. The other camera, the Tail 2, of course, is a PTZ camera. It's got all the features we've talked about. It's got optical zoom. I mean, it's got all of this stuff in one package, and you can run it over wireless NDI, which I'm doing right now. So take a look at both of these shots and tell me what your guess is. Left side, right side, which one is the Tail 2 and which one is the Sony a6400. All right, so get your guesses in. If you've got them in, I'll go ahead and reveal it. The left side is the Sony a6400 and the right side is the Tail 2. And it's just insane. Like, the quality these two cameras has, is insane. And so the fact that, seeing them next to each other, this is actually one of the first times I've done the side-by-side comparison. I'm looking over here at my OBS preview to see what it looks like, and it is crazy. Like, I could easily, you could see the hairs on the top of my head right up here. You can see, on both cameras, you can see that. The main difference, and tell me if you guys got this right or not, the main difference is the background blur. Obviously with the Sony, 60mm 1.4 aperture lens on the Sigma lens on the Sony camera, you're gonna get more background blur because it's a 1.4 aperture. I mean, it's just how lenses work. This one doesn't have a 1.4 aperture, so you're gonna be able to see the background and the details. However, that's not necessarily a bad thing, because if you're, in a situation like I am, where I've got like stuff on the shelf back here that people might want to look at, you might actually prefer that. You might actually, and you can change the settings on a low aperture lens in order to see more of the background, but you're just not going to get the same level of blur that you do on a DSLR. However, I want to show you guys this. If I was to hold up, for instance, this Pokeball in front of both of these, get the focus on there. Okay. Notice there's a lot more blurriness on the left than there is on the right, but there is still blurriness on the right side. And to do a close-up shot, you can easily do a close-up shot with the Tail 2. And it's going to blur the background, and it's going to look really, really nice. And so if you want to show a product off, you can do that, and then it's going to snap right back onto your face. The Sony, of course, it just makes it look even crazier because of how much blur there is, which I really do like that. But both of these cameras are going to do a fantastic job at getting that close-up shot and getting some nice blur in the background. So I want to show you guys these next to each other. I'm going to go ahead and use the Tail 2 for the rest of this video in the same place as my main cam. It's going to become my A cam for the rest of this video as we talk about a few more things that have to do with this. And we're going to be running this camera wireless NDI on battery for the rest of this video. Okay, and I'm actually noticing that I think the Tail 2 may have an actual wider field of view than even the 16mm lens that I was using on the Sony, because I'm able to see more of my desk in the shot. Now, there's another huge feature that the Tail 2 offers that almost no other camera has, and that is the ability to shoot in vertical format. Now, you may be asking, well, what do you mean? Like, I can just twist a DSLR camera onto its side and shoot in vertical, and yes, you can do that. However, the Tail Air has a really cool feature where I can press one button and the entire camera lens inside will rotate and turn it into a vertical format, and you'll get the entire field of view in vertical, so you're not having to punch way in on your horizontal videos in order to get a vertical video. So I'm gonna go open up the app, and I'm gonna go ahead and turn that on. All right, so when I press this, the inside of the lens of the Tail 2 is actually going to rotate, meaning that you still get the full range of motion of the camera as far as, panning and tilting and zooming, but it's just going to turn the entire lens and the sensor sideways. And now, as you guys can see over here next to me, this is the entire field of view of the Tail 2 in vertical format. So if you have a vertical canvas on OBS, or you're wanting to just record in this format for, shorts on YouTube or TikTok or whatever, you can do that. This camera will shoot with the entire field of view, so I'm not losing anything. You can see my phone on my desk, you can see my entire room. I'm not losing any of the shot. It's just now vertical, and all I had to do is press one button on the app itself. You can do it from your phone, the app on your phone, or you can do it within the app on the PC. And now you've got a perfect vertical camera. And the other thing I want to mention is I'm controlling this camera from the app and from my Elgato Stream Deck, all wirelessly through NDI. So this camera will even connect to the app on your computer through that NDI connection, and it will recognize the camera through NDI without you having to do anything. It has no cables, nothing. So it really is, it's one of the most robust and full-featured cameras that I've ever experienced. Now, there's one other feature that I wanted to mention to you guys, which makes this PTZ camera perfect for my use case, and that is the ability for this to power on and off when the power cable is unplugged or plugged in, or more importantly, when power is cut to this camera, which I'll talk about here in a minute. But one of the things that I loved and made it really hard for me to switch away from my last PTZ camera was the fact that whenever the power was cut to the camera, it would turn the camera off. And whenever you turn the power back on, it would turn it on. So I would use a Wi-Fi switch in order to do that. And then I could link the Wi-Fi switch to my Elgato Stream Deck, and so when I pressed a button, it would turn the power on and off, and therefore turn the camera on and off. Well, I was a little nervous with the Tail 2 because I thought, man, there's a physical power button on the back, but it has a battery built in. So if I cut the power to the camera, it's going to continue to run on the battery, which is the problem that I had with the Tail Air. I tried to use that to replace my other PTZ camera, but that power issue and the fact that the battery was always being charged and stuff, it made it a little bit of a nuisance for me. So I had to manually turn that camera on and off. However, OBSBOT has figured that out, and I want to show you this feature because it, as far as a streaming camera goes, makes it perfect in my opinion. So I'm going to put this camera back up there as a bird's eye view, and then I'm going to show you what it is that I do in order to make this work so that you guys can see what I'm talking about. Okay, so I've got the OBSBOT Tail 2 mounted back up in the bird's eye view. Here it is right here. And there is the one feature that I mentioned that is that makes this perfect, and that is the power on and off feature. So if I want to turn this camera off, then I just have to cut the power to the power cable and it will automatically shut off. There is an option within the app on the computer to make this available. So if you unplug it, it will turn off. If you cut the power, it'll turn off. What I use to cut the power are these Govee smart plugs, and I'll put a link down in the description of these Govee smart plugs as well. But I use these, and you can actually attach them or link them to your Elgato Stream Deck, and they allow you to turn the power on and off. And this is what one of them looks like. So you plug this in to your power outlet. There's a button on the side that you can actually use. There's the plastic still on this one, but you can use this button to turn it on and off, or you can do it through Wi-Fi. There's an app on your phone you can use to cut the power to this, or you can run it directly into your Stream Deck. And so what I do is I have a button on my Stream Deck that I can press, and it will turn everything in my room on and off, including these Govee smart plugs. And when that power gets cut or comes on, it will turn on the Tail 2. And that way, whenever the Tail 2 comes on, it will go back to my default view here. And then I'm ready to go. I don't have to think about it. And then when I'm done streaming, I press the button and it shuts it off. And it doesn't even continue to charge the battery. It actually, I mean, because the power is cut off here, then the battery's not being charged, it's not being drained, the camera is off, and then the next time the power goes through, it turns it on and it puts it right back into whatever, initial state that you have set for your camera. So I'll have a link down below for these smart plugs, as well as that power brick that I showed you at the beginning of this video for the power delivery. And I just plugged that power brick directly into this Govee smart plug, and it works perfectly. Now I wanted to show you quickly the computer app for the Tail 2. This is the app that you'll run all of your OBSBOT cameras with. The Tail 2, I've got my Tiny 2 linked to this. If you've got the Tail Airs or the Tiny 2 Lite, all of those cameras, up to 4 of them, will run into this app at one time, and you can just switch between which one you want to be working on. There's a ton of features. It's got all the tracking stuff here. It's got, your presets. It's got the gimbal, adjustments, zoom adjustments. It's got everything. And then you go to image, it's got all of your, focus and exposure, white balance, your image, details here as far as brightness, contrast, saturation, that sort of thing. And then if you go to more, this is where you can turn on that feature, the power on and off feature that I was talking about. You can set your initial state, your power on and off here, your output, whether you want it to be NDI, RTSP, SRT, SDI, all of this sort of thing. You scroll down here, you've got your gesture control, so you can control this using your hands, all the way down until we get to the general settings. And this is where, you've got tally light, which is a red light that shows up whenever the camera is actively putting out a video signal to something. It's up on the top right of that, basically the gimbal arm. And that tally light is red whenever it's recording or whenever it's just sending out a video signal, which is really, really cool. But on top of all of that, you guys, this is what makes this camera perfect for me and for, I would say, any live streamer. The plug unplug to power on off feature. You turn this on right here under the more setting, and that way whenever you turn on and off your smart plug, it will turn the camera on and off, and you don't have to worry about it continually charging all the time or power going to it or anything. So that right there, that feature alone made this camera perfect for me, and it is going to completely replace my other PTZ camera. This camera is going to be doing a lot of work around the EagleGarrett studio, so to speak, but I just want to show you guys that right there, as well as how robust this app actually is. And we have not even scratched the surface of what all you can do through this app. You can even use the OBSBOT remote, which is this guy right here, and you can control the camera using this remote. And so there's another way that you can control this camera without even having to be next to your computer or have your phone pulled up. You can just get the OBSBOT remote, and then you can move it around, and you can, you know, zoom in and out and activate tracking and all that sort of thing. So the remote is a really cool feature as well. We didn't get into any of that. We didn't get into any of the hand gestures. There's too much to cover in just one video, you guys. So I hope this video has given you a well-rounded perspective of the OBSBOT Tail 2. I think that the OBSBOT Tail 2, with the flexibility of the connections that it has, the quality, the features like the AI tracking, the built-in battery, the rotating lens for vertical, the stabilization features, which we didn't even really get into, but it's got stabilization. It's got a great phone app, which we didn't look at, but the phone app allows you to do everything, including more, because you can, you know, so you can highlight what you want it to track just by dragging your finger across. It's really, really cool. We'll have to do a video or something on that. The phone app, the computer app, all of these reasons and more are the reason why I think the Tail 2 is one of the most robust cameras that there is on the market. So if you guys are looking for a good camera for your live streams or for a podcast, for video work, you need multiple angles, something like that, look at the Tail 2. It is going to replace all the other cameras out there on the market. And unless you need an insane amount of background blur or something like that, the Tail 2 is probably one of the best offerings that I've found. So guys, I hope you like this video. If you do, make sure you hit the thumbs up button for me, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel and ring the notification bell to know when videos like this go live. I've got a link for the OBSBOT Tail 2 down in the description of this video. I'm going to try to have a link there to their website, as well as an Amazon link so that you can get it on both, and they are affiliate links, so it does help support this channel. If you use my link, I would greatly appreciate it. If you'd like to catch more of me, I am live on Twitch at twitch.tv/EagleGarrett. I stream over there every week, multiple times, so swing on by and hang out with us and see the Tail 2 in action. Come over and ask me about it. I'd be happy to show it to you, do a little demo live. As well as you can catch me on all of the social medias. I've got them linked down below, as well as my website. Go to EagleGarrett.com. You can check out my merch. There's all the links to my socials on there as well. You can find my live stream on there. You can find my YouTube videos, all that sort of thing. So check out EagleGarrett.com. And guys, with that being said, thank you so much for watching. As always, until the next video, rock on, peace out, God bless, and last but not least, Steam friend code. Toby, it should just tell you if you type in !Steam in the chat and see if it gives you my code. Oh! Oh! Yo, that guy got absolutely domed. You're welcome, sir.